Namaste everyone. This is the second chapter of History Class 7. In the video of Class 7, Chapter 1, we have studied about the medieval period, periodization of history, importance of medieval period, sources of information of medieval period, and major achievements of medieval period. Rise of Small Kingdoms is the second chapter of History Class 7, and in this video we are going to cover all topics related to this chapter. प्राचीन भारत के अंतिम शक्तिशाली शासक हर्षवर्धन की मृत्यु 647 ईस्वी में हो जाने के बाद उनके उत्तराधिकारियों द्वारा शासन संभालना मुश्किल हो गया। फलतः उत्तर भारत में एक राजनीतिक अस्थिरता की स्थिति बन गई। सभी छोटे बड़े राजा आपस में लड़ते रहते थे। अंत में 750 ईस्वी से 1000 ईस्वी के बीच 3 बड़े राज्यों का विकास हुआ जो कन्नौज पर विजय पाने के उद्देश्य से आपस में लड़ते रहते थे। वे 3 बड़े राज्य कौन थे? वो 3 बड़े राज्य थे गुर्जर, प्रतिहार, पाल और राष्ट्रकूट। आज के इस पाठ में हम इन तीनों किंगडम्स के साथ साथ राजपूतों का इतिहास एवं उस समय के राजनीतिक, आर्थिक, सामाजिक एवं शैक्षणिक व्यवस्था के बारे में जानेंगे। Why did small kingdoms emerge after the reign of Harsh? Actually, after the death of Harshvardhan, the last powerful ruler of ancient India in 647 Common Era, the whole empire disintegrated into many small kingdoms due to the miserable economic condition and lack of proper administration by the weak successors of the empire. And this was a period of political instability in North India, so the regional empires emerged after the death of Harshvardhan. Why is the age between 750 and 1000 Common Era is called the age of 3 empires? Many historians tell it that this age was as the age of 3 empires because there were 3 powerful kingdoms arose between 750 Common Era to 1000 Common Era out of the ruins of Harsha's rule or empire, and hence this period is known as the age of 3 empires. The Rashtrakoot, Gurjar, Pratihar and Pal were the 3 empires that rose during that period. Rashtrakoot ruled over the northern part of Deccan. The Palas ruled over present-day Bengal and Bihar region, and the Pratihar in Avanti region. Avanti located present-day southern Rajasthan and Gujarat. But the 3 main kingdoms were also engaged in wars that led to the decline of 3 empires. Now we will study detail about the major 3 empires, that is Rashtrakoot, Pal and Pratihar. Our first empire that to be discussed is Rashtrakutas. Who were Rashtrakutas? Danti Durg established Rashtrakoot Empire in 753 Common Era over a large area of present-day Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra and Karnataka. His empire acted as a bridge between North and South India, so his empire is regarded as important for flourishing in trade. Govind III and Amogh Vats, who ruled over there from 814 Common Era to 880 Common Era, were the well-known Rashtrakoot kings. The Rashtrakutas were great warriors, patrons of art, lovers of art, and scholars also. They took titles like Chakravarti, Maharaja Dhiraj, and Param Bhattarak. They maintained huge armies and encouraged trade for the prosperity of the people. Rashtrakutas followed Jainism, but the patrons of Buddhists, Hindus, and Muslims also. Rashtrakutas rulers were great patrons of art and learning, and Rashtrakutas rule saw the flourishing of religious literature also. A rock-cut temple of Ellora was developed and made during the time of Rashtrakoot Empire. Rock cut temple of Ellora was built by whom? Rock cut temple of Ellora belonging to Hindus, Buddhist and Jain sects was built by Rashtrakoot rulers who wrote Kavirag Marg, one of the earliest work of Kannada poetry. Kavirag Marg was one of the most famous earliest work in Kannada poetry that were written by Amogh Vers and one of the powerful rulers of Rashtrakoot Empire. He was lover of Sanskrit and many more books he had written, but Kavirag Marg was most famous of them. Which ruler crushed the power of Rashtrakutas? Now the decline of the Rashtrakoot came, and by the end of 10th century, the Chalukya ruler crushed the power of Rashtrakutas and took over the control of their kingdom. Now our topic is Palas. Who were Palas and what is Pal? After the death of Harshvardhan, Bengal faced a lot of fighting among the small kingdoms. The people of Bengal elected Gopal as their king to maintain peace and order. He set up an empire which ruled over for about 400 years and took the title of Pal after their name. This empire or Pal Empire came to be known as Pal dynasty. Dharmpal was the greatest ruler of Pal dynasty. Dharmpal set up a center of Buddhist education which was known as Vikramshila Vihar or Vikramshila University. This is very famous in Bihar. His son Devpal extended the Pal Empire and also defeated the Huns. The end of this period ushered in decline of Pal, and the Pal rulers were the followers of Buddhism. Many scholars were sent to distant countries to spread Buddhism. Pal were the great patron of art, education and literature, which were known as Gaur and Veng. Which region were known as Gaur and Veng? Region of West Bengal was known as Gaur and East Bengal was known as Veng. Who revived Nalanda University? The famous Nalanda University was revived during the Pal Empire. Now our topic is Pratihar. Who were Pratiharas? They were also called Gurjar Pratihar because Gurjar Pratihar originated from Gujarat and they ruled over Gujarat and southwestern Rajasthan. The founder of Pratihar Empire was Nagbhat I, and the greatest ruler of this dynasty or the Pratihar dynasty was Mihir Bhoj. Mihir Bhoj conquered Kannauj around 836 Common Era. The continuous battle weakened the Pratihar Empire and it broken into a number of small kingdoms. The Pratihar were great warriors. They fought many battles with Pals and the Rashtrakutas. The Pratihar kings were also great patrons of art and literature. King Mihir Bhoj himself was well-known scholar. Regional languages flourished during that time. Which regional languages flourished during that time? Marathi and Gujarati were spoken in Western India. Bengali, Assami in Oriya, and Oriya became popular in Eastern India. The beautiful temples of Khajuraho, Kanchipuram, Tanjavur, Bhubaneswar, Puri and Konark were built during the period of Gurjar Pratihar, and the art of miniature painting was also developed during the period of Gurjar Pratihar. Now our question is, what was tripartite struggle? The struggle is very famous in history. Kannauj was considered a symbol of power in North India. Hence, the three kingdoms, the Rashtrakutas, the Pal and Gurjar Pratihar, were continuously engaged in a struggle to possess Kannauj. Their struggle for supremacy was also known as the tripartite struggle, and the battle weakened them and led to break into many small kingdoms. Why did Turkish invasion started in India? The reason behind the tripartite struggle was Kannauj, but after the long engagement of three major kingdoms into the tripartite struggle that led to the Turkish invasion started in India. During the 10th century Common Era, three important developments that took place in medieval India. Firstly, North India came in close contact with Western and Central Asia. First. Secondly, most of the kingdoms where came the rule of Rajputs, and who were constantly at war with one another. Rajputs were continuously engaged in war in one another. Finally, the continuous engagement of war created political instability in North India, which was the major cause of the beginning of Turkish invasion in North India. And now our topic is who were Rajputs. Topic is Rajput, and the question is who were Rajputs. There is no clarity about the origin of Rajput. The word Rajput means son of Raja, or Raja means king in simple language, but all the Rajputs do not belong to royal families. This is a remarkable point. Many Rajput families trace their origin to sun or moon and thus are known as Suryavanshi and Chandravanshi. बहुत सारे राजपूत फैमिली हैं जो अपना ओरिजिन सूर्य और चंद्रमा को बताते हैं और इसीलिए उनको सूर्यवंशी और चंद्रवंशी कहा जाता है. Some historians believe that the Rajputs are the descendants of foreign tribes who had settled in India. तो बहुत लोगों का यही मानना है कि राजपूत लोग बाहर से आए और इंडिया में सेटल हो गए. It is also believed that the main four clans of Rajputs were born from fire altars. Hence, they are also known as Agni Kulas. They are who were known as Agni Kulas. This is a major topic for the exam point of view. Parmars belong to Malwa. Pratiharas belong to Rajasthan and Gujarat, and Chauhans belong to Ajmer, and Chalukya belong to Gujarat, were known as Agni Kulas, that were born from altars. Now, there were about 36 clans of Rajputs, and one of the major famous clans belonged to Prithviraj Chauhan or Chauhan. Prithviraj Chauhan was the most powerful king among Chauhans. He came to be throne. Prithviraj Chauhan ascended the throne in 1177 Common Era, or he made many conquests. Prithviraj Chauhan made many conquests. He defeated Muhammad Ghori of Ghor. Muhammad Ghori belonged to Afghanistan, and he defeated Muhammad Ghori of Ghor belonging to Afghanistan at the Battle of Tehran near Bhatinda. His court poet named Chandavar Dai composed an epic poem, and the name of the epic poem is Prithviraj Raso, which is narrated by Chandavar Dai, and he narrates in Prithviraj Raso about the bravery of Prithviraj Chauhan. The struggle for supremacy and constant inflicting created disunity and enmity among the Rajputs. This attracted the Muslims' invasion in India, and the Rajputs felt to join hands with each other to defend India from Arab invasions. And once again, the Arab invaded India after the deaths or weakening of Rajput rulers. Now our topic is what were the governing system of North India. What were the system of governance in North India? First, we should discuss about the administration of North. The king was all powerful in North India. He was head of army, judiciary, and assisted by different officials. The empire was divided into provinces. Let me know about the economic situation of North India during that period. During that time, the royal family or high official and the traders were prosperous. They were rich, and especially poor people belonged to villages. The temples were the center of riches and hence attracted lot of invaders. Feudal system was also prevalent during that period. Now, how did feudal system become one of the cause of decline of empire? The king granted land to rewards to officers. राजा ठाकुरों को और राय को लैंड दान में देते थे और they provided military assistance to the king at time of war. Gradually, they become powerful and proclaimed themselves independent. This weakened the power of kings. For instance, many feudal lords like Chauhan, Parmar became powerful and established independent empires. Let me know about the social condition during that period. The rigid caste system prevalent during that time. The king and feudal lords and the Brahmins in high position enjoyed a life of luxury. The condition of women was quite miserable and deprived of education. Women were also deprived of education during that time. The evil practices of sati, child marriage, polygamy were prevalent during that period. Rajput kings gave gifts to lands to the Brahmins, and it was called as Brahmade and Agrahar. The land were called, the donated land by Rajput to the Brahmins were called Brahmade and Agrahar. Hinduism became more popular than Buddhism. Many Buddhists took shelter in Southeast Asia when the Turkish invasion started, particularly at monasteries. During this period, the Bhakti saints preached devotion of God and opposed social discrimination, superstitions, and narrow-mindedness. These were the social evils prevalent during that time that were opposed by Bhakti saints. Let me talk about education system during that time. The elementary education was limited to temples and monasteries. The University of Nalanda and Vikramshila became important centers of higher education. The study of philosophy and religion was encouraged, but subjects like mathematics and science were ignored. The regional languages like Marathi, Gujarati, and Bengali developed as they were the language in which the Bhakti saints developed or preaches and composed songs. But Sanskrit enjoyed a place of prominence, and Pali and Sanskrit languages were used for writing books on Buddhism and Jainism. Now let me know about the art and architecture during that period. The examples of painting of North India can be found in the form of murals in palaces, caves, and temples. The Jain monks and painters of Bengal developed the art of miniature painting during that period. The Lingaraj temple and Mukteshwar temple the Lingaraj temple and Mukteshwar temple at Bhubaneswar and the Sun temple at Konark are the fine examples of the architecture of period. World famous Khajuraho temple complex was built by Chandelas, ruler of Bundelkhand, who were the earlier feudatories of Pratiharas. These temples decorated with beautiful sculptures. Now let we know about the trading system during that time. What is the situation of trade during that time? India developed trade relationship with other countries in the East, Southeast, West, and Central Asia, and the European countries also. The political, social, economic, and cultural and trade contacts proved to be the great boon for Afghan, Turkish, and Mughal rulers to establish their rule in India, and the prosperity became the major causes of the foreign invasion in India. Now our question is, what is miniature painting? It is a small pictures drawn to illustrate books, that is called miniature painting. What is Johar? Johar, the woman of royal family, committed Johar. Johar means immolation in the fire. आग में अपने आप को समर्पित कर देना. That is called Johar. To protect their honor if their main folk were defeated or killed in a battle, that is called Johar. Now we will study about the Some important keywords of this chapter. What is epic poem? A long narrated poem, usually about heroic deeds and events that are significant to the culture of the poet, that is called epic poem. Next keyword is feudal system. What is feudal system? The socio-political setup of medieval Europe based on land holdings, that is called feudal system. What is miniature painting? Miniature painting is a small painting executed with great walls. Great detail is called miniature painting. Point is mural painting. What is mural painting? Any piece of artwork painted or applied on a wall ceiling is called mural painting. Now, next point. What is patron? A person who supports an artist, writer, etc. with money, gift or endorsement is called patron. What is philosophy? The study of nature, cause of principles of reality, that is called philosophy. What is polygamy? The practice of having more than one wife is called polygamy.